The rain had been falling since morning, soaking the cracked pavement of the city streets. On the corner near the subway entrance, a young boy sat huddled under a torn hoodie, his guitar case open in front of him. His name was Daniel, just 14 years old, with a voice that had only ever been heard by strangers passing in a hurry. The streets had been his home for almost 2 years, ever since his mother passed away and his father disappeared from his life. He didn't speak much about it, the pain was something he kept locked away, deep beneath the music he carried in his heart. Most days, people walked past without a glance, the way city life teaches you to look away from anything that hurts. But that afternoon, something unusual happened. A woman in a long coat paused in front of him. She was holding a camera cruise microphone and had a badge around her neck. "You've got a beautiful guitar there," she said gently. "Ever thought about singing on a bigger stage?" Daniel hesitated. "A bigger stage," he echoed, almost laughing. He barely made enough to eat, how could he imagine standing on a stage? But the woman wasn't joking. She was part of the production team for a talent show taping nearby. A contestant had just dropped out, and they were desperate to fill the slot. "You won't have to pay anything," she assured him. "Just bring your guitar and your voice." An hour later, Daniel found himself backstage under bright lights, staring at hundreds of seats in the audience and 4 famous judges at the far end of the stage. His jeans were faded, his sneakers torn, but in his hands, the guitar felt like a shield. When the host asked what he'd be performing, Daniel quietly replied, "Hotel California." The judges exchanged quick glances. It wasn't an easy song, especially for someone so young. But Daniel didn't notice, he was too busy trying to steady his trembling hands. The first strum of his guitar was soft, almost fragile. But then he began to sing. His voice was unlike anything they expected, rich, haunting, and filled with a kind of pain that only comes from living through more than your share of loss. Every word seemed to carry a story, every note dipped in longing. As he sang, on a dark desert highway, you could feel the room falling silent, the audience leaning forward. By the time he reached the chorus, even the camera operators had stopped moving, just listening. In that moment, Daniel wasn't a homeless boy. He wasn't someone people passed by without seeing. He was an artist, pure and undeniable. His voice cracked slightly on the bridge, but it only made the song more human, more real. Halfway through, something remarkable happened. One of the judges, a woman known for her tough critiques, suddenly covered her mouth, her eyes brimming with tears. Another judge whispered to her, "This kid," and trailed off, unable to finish. By the final line, "You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave." The audience was on its feet, clapping and cheering. Daniel stood frozen, unsure of what to do. And then, with a sudden, thunderous sound, the golden buzzer lit up the stage. Gold confetti rained down, sticking to his wet hoodie, his hair, his guitar strings. Daniel looked around in disbelief. The woman judge walked up to the stage and hugged him tightly. Into the microphone, she said, "You don't know this, but my brother was homeless when he was your age. I never got to help him the way I wanted to. But I can help you. And I will." The audience erupted again, but Daniel barely heard them. His throat was tight, his chest felt too small for his heart. For the first time in years, he felt seen, not for his ragged clothes or the coins in his guitar case, but for who he really was. Backstage, the producers told him they would arrange a place for him to stay, food, and even lessons with professional coaches. It felt unreal. Just that morning, he had been another shadow on the sidewalk. Now, he was walking toward a future he had never dared to imagine. In the days that followed, the video of his performance went viral. Millions watched and shared it, writing comments like, "This boy sings with his soul," and "Proof that talent can come from anywhere." People sent letters, donations, and offers to help. Daniel wasn't just a contestant anymore, he had become a symbol of hope for anyone who had ever been overlooked. But for Daniel, the most life-changing moment wasn't the fame, or even the golden buzzer. It was what happened a week later, when a man approached him backstage. The man had tears in his eyes and a familiar face Daniel hadn't seen in years. "Daniel," the man whispered, voice trembling, "I'm your father, and I'm sorry." The reunion was awkward at first, but Daniel decided to listen. Life had been cruel to both of them, but now there was a chance for healing. The two sat for hours, talking quietly, while Daniel strummed his guitar in between. Months later, Daniel stood on that same stage again, this time with his father in the front row, tears in his eyes. The song was different, but the feeling was the same, music that told the truth, music that healed. And as the lights dimmed, Daniel realized something important. The streets had taught him to survive, but kindness had taught him to dream again. He had walked into the building as a homeless boy, and walked out as someone's miracle. Because sometimes, all it takes is one song, one moment, and one act of compassion to turn a life completely around.